Well, good morning. It is, I think, we have like 12 o'clock, something like this. And I woke up again from for me, still very late night. I think, again, we were at home at 4 or so, a little bit before 4, because I decided to try to make the party not last longer than 2 o'clock. Well, I aim at that, just to not completely fuck up my sleep rhythm. So it was a second day of my 7-day, of our 7-day experience, because me and my wing, we decided to do it now 7 times in a row, like 7 days in a row, going out. And what we decided that we want to have like a goal for us going out. So for him, he decided that he wants to make women laugh, like not only approaching, but like to talk to them as long as it takes, like to make them laugh. And today, every day, one more girl than the day before. So the first day when we did it yesterday, he made like 3 girls laugh, and yesterday it were 4 or even 5. Depends on how you count, because this one was a mix set, and the not a mix set, like a 2 set, like 2 women. And I think he talked with both. I'm not sure whether the one who only spoke shorter was whether he actually laughed, or I think so. So anyway, so this is like his adventure for the next. Actually, he wants to do that like 30 days in a row, not going out, but not to have like a higher aim than making women laugh for 30 days and then looking for another thing. That's definitely too low for me. But after this terrible experience in the Matrix Club, I decided that I definitely have to overthink my what I actually want to have out of it. Really approaching women and talking to them or making them laugh, or whatever possible aims you could set to yourself. And I realized what I actually quite quick realized after the Matrix day, that what I need to learn to establish for myself is actually to enjoy being in the club. So this is what I did when I went out yesterday. I had in my mind that I want to enjoy the time in the club. So I didn't go there as a wannabe pickup guy, but as a guy who goes out with a friend and has fun. Simple, just simple like this, and everything else can happen however it happens. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this works perfectly. I really had a good time. The other thing I definitely decided is that the Matrix and this kind of club is 100% not for me. It's just not my demographic. People are too young, people are too stupid, too superficial. As I told you about the Matrix, is not at all any artistic influenced kinda environment. This is really dull. There's nothing in there. And I think the only thing you watch there is every once in a while they have some dance performance on the bar, where some curvy girl and some very really body built up men dancing half naked on the table. But it just even does not really look good. It looks, I don't know. Just have a look for yourself and you decide. So I definitely knew that I had to go to another place. So I had a look, and there are a lot of cultural interesting places, party locations to go in Berlin. And so we went to a club called, don't let me lie. It was Rosie's. this is like really nice club. So my age, like I think from 20 to 40, like the customers there, and like middle class educated guys with some sense of culture and art and intelligence. So we went there. The location was as beautiful as always, but sadly it was like crazy empty. We were like literally the first two guys who arrived there, and we actually entered like a little bit after 11. Nobody was there, so we had like a good time like checking out the venue and like looking for the dark corners, and like still having a good time. They had like a fire, like a can, like a barrel, like an oil barrel, where like fire were burning in like in the courtyard before this before you like entering the actual like building where the music is going to take place. And so we were standing there just talking, and then there came like a guy who was like a shop there, like selling like fried sausages, and like he talked to us, but you were like in a little bit negative talking kind of societies, like kind of shit. But I'm above that mood, and then on one point we decided that well, fuck it, the location can be as pretty as it wants. Here's is like still my stamp from that. It will not help us in approaching women, because there were no women, literally no woman, not a single woman. There were like 10 people in total in the whole venue. 8 of them were working there, then the both of us, and no woman. So okay, then we thought, well, we already got the stamp, so we can come back later. And we went out and wandered a little bit around and ended up in another club. But no, I remember. For me, the day went like the night started like really nice, because I met with my wing. We appointed us. I have to look up what this is like in English. I think like we appointed us is like not correct, but you know what I mean. We appointed us at the train station of Warschauer Straße at 10:30. And he's like my wing is like not originally from Berlin. So what happens with a lot of guys who are like not from Berlin, when is really like, I don't know whether this is like in other cities too, but I hear it like so often that you go on a train and you just go into the wrong direction. And once you realize it, then you have to go off, you have to drive the whole way back, and like still have to wait for another train. So we were like a half an hour late. But we were texting and like calling each other. So he teased me like with that now I have time like to approach women. So I didn't think about it. I just saw like this nice Asian looking woman like standing there with her cell phone, like with the earbuds, like, which always like before were probably like a reason for me like not to approach a woman, because like she's like so into her music and like probably like waiting for someone and like don't want to be disturbed. Fuck it, I didn't even think about that. I just went for that, and then I did like the textbook approach, like hi, I'm Daniel, I thought like I'd like to meet you, like who are you, where are you from, where are you staying, who are you here with, like all these questions, what are you doing later. And well, then I don't know, I actually cannot really recall what we talked, what this was, but it definitely I definitely asked whether she got a boyfriend, and so I made it man to woman. It was clear that I was hitting on her, and really like after a couple of it was really textbook, like the first like 3 to 5 minutes she were like like small lipped. I don't know, like she didn't say so much, but then like I don't know what happened, like I told a joke or something, like she started to laugh, and then she like really actually like started to talk, and we actually talked with each other, and it was fun. So after like maybe 10 minutes standing there, I asked again like where she's going, and she told me like some bar like around the corner, like with her friend, But she also when I asked her before whether it's like whether she got a boyfriend, and she told me that she's like meeting with him like on the bridge. She also didn't hesitate to tell me that it's like she's like not sure whether it's like the actual boyfriend. It's like something that is going on for 2 months, and so she was like definitely open to do something. And so I told her, well, make me give you my number, and then when the bar is like not nice, or you want to do like something else, and then just give me a call, and then maybe we can meet in the other venue. And like right in the moment where she pulled out her cell phone, like, and actually like my number were already in, my name were already typed, the boyfriend showed up. And like with a not so nice face. He was smaller than me. He was like not threatening like in any way, shape or form. How they say. He were like some red-headed British dude, but he were like definitely realizing that I'm hitting like on his girlfriend, and so I couldn't like bring him like to like me. So I didn't even really try. So yeah, well. Then I left the both of them, and they went to the bar, and I went back to my bicycle and waited a couple of minutes more for my wing to appear. And yeah, well, she told me that she's going to text me, like send me a WhatsApp message, but then like 30 seconds before that actually happened, the boyfriend showed up. But really, there was something on. So yeah, well, but this was like perfect start for the evening. So back to after we left the first location, so we wandered around a little bit, like drove to another, there are like 50 clubs, like very close to each other, like shitty clubs and good clubs and bars and so. So we went to a club where I like go on a regular basis for a couple of years now, like maybe like 3 or 4 times a year or so. So we went in there, like, and it was really, really crowded. It was, the entry was for free. I think they charged like €1 extra with the first drink. Yeah, something like this. Like if you order like a beer, you get a stamp, then you pay like €1 more, and that's like for the DJ or something. And I didn't even do that. I just grabbed like an empty bottle that were standing around, like filled it up with water, and I was fine. So everything was really like another very cheap experience. And so there in the corner there were like 2 Asian-looking women, and there were like space. Actually, like in the right corner there were like 1 blonde-looking woman. And in the left corner there were like 2 Asian-looking women. So I thought like, well, let's just sit like in between them. So we squeezed each other in. But the Asian woman, they kind of weren't like really perceptive. I didn't even like talk anything to them, because before I could do that, I started to talk to the blonde woman on the left side. Well, on the other side. And she also like had a friend, so we ended up after a couple of minutes like talking. So I talked with one, and my wing talked with the other, and they were from Sweden, and they were like really nice. And I think we talked like for half an hour, and like really had a good time. But like from there, like, I tried to make my body language like facing towards her, like looking her in the eye and the lip, like whatever, like my indicators of interest. But she didn't like, well, they were like interested, but like not in a crazy, we want to have an adventure kind of mood. They just arrived in Berlin like a couple of hours ago, and then they're gonna stay here like until, I don't know, like for 3 days or so. So it was like probably a little bit too much for them, to getting hit on and so hard like in the very beginning. And yeah, well, then after half an hour we thought like, well, fuck it, let's go to the dance floor. And so we hang a little bit out in the dancing area, and actually like we went like back and forths, and like still like and every now and then like again like shared some word with the 2 ladies who remained in this corner, just like looking at the venue. And so I went into the dance floor, and there were like all these pretty ladies like dancing, and of course I had no idea like how to approach a dancing lady. Still, I have really no idea how to do that. It's like this alpha male dancing on thing. Maybe like, well, currently this is just like not for me. But on the bar, like where there were like a lot of women sitting, and like one probably like my age. I'm like 35 now, so she appeared like something like this, maybe even like a little bit younger, but like not too much. And well, then I started to talk with her, and I actually don't know exactly like how it started. No, I remember how it started. I got like this device I can record here with. It's like a tablet computer, but also like it got the capability to make calls with it. Actually, it's a huge cell phone. So, and I got it in my side pocket in my jacket, and whenever I pull it out, it's like really like some blues guitar kind of thing. Like people start to laugh, and yeah, well, then this we came in contact. She saw that and we were smiling, so I talked to her. Something like, yeah, well, that's you know, that's my cell phone. That I use it like for when I see children, then I'm pretending that I'm shrinking, like with this huge cell phone on my ear. Yeah, well, then we talked, and like for a couple of minutes, like maybe like 5 minutes or so, and I think it went really well. And she like the whole I tried to like be as close as possible to her without like you know, like sitting like on top of her. And she definitely like the whole time she came way closer to my face than the loudness of the music were demanding it. So that was already for me like a huge indicator of interest. And after 5 minutes, like when she again like said something, there were like some silent moments just where I just danced and looked around, and it happened. It again happened a couple of times that I didn't like know like what to say next. So well, anyway, I just like enjoy the moment and smile in the area. And then we turned to her again, and we talked a little bit more. And she actually I have no idea what she talked. I cannot remember shit. And then I just like really it was like after 5 minutes I just kissed her. I said like, well, what the fuck, why not? And then she were looking at me and smiling, and she was like, but you just kissed me. You just kissed me. She really like she couldn't believe that. And then but then I realized, and like my wing came, and we realized that we're only like 20 minutes after 2 o'clock, and we wanted to have this thing like 2 o'clock and then we go. So that were like already 20 minutes over. So I introduced them to convey like that I have like value. I have friends. Like I'm not like a lonesome guy here. Like hitting on women. Even though it's mainly true. Yeah, well, and then before we left, then we said like goodbye, and then before we left, I asked her like what she's going to do tomorrow, and like she told me like where she were going, and so I asked her for her number, and then she were like blah 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 number so fast that I couldn't like remember it. I couldn't like repeat it like one time. I did like one mistake in the number, and she even corrected this, but like probably I have to make like starting like to train myself to memorize like numbers better than I do currently, and then okay, I repeated it. I think like I could like hold the number like for a couple of seconds in my head, so I started to pull my thing out, and once at the moment I put it out, she were like looking at me and said like, yeah, but sorry, but I have a boyfriend. And then I thought like, well, I don't give a shit. It's like anyway, it's over and the night is over. So it was like very fun for me. So I put my thing in again, and then we went. And when we went out, like my wing pointed out to me that actually, I mean, she said to me that she has a boyfriend, but she gave me her number anyway. So like eventually, what she did, like her action were like the action from a woman who like does something like to start to cheat on her boyfriend. While okay, her words like indicated something else, but what this he said like what is important is like not what the girl says but what the girl does, and she did gave me her number. So, well, another experience I can learn from, definitely. So this is like the thing with I have a boyfriend. I really like, this is probably gonna happen like a couple of times in the future more. So I really have to learn how to deal with that, like in my favor. And yeah, well, then we left, and we had we went with a tram back home. We live like more or less in the same area of Berlin. So, and we also like, we enjoyed the ride back, and so we just had like from the beginning to the end like a wonderful day, and wonderful evening, wonderful night, successful night. So, and this is going to continue today. And again, my goal is just to enjoy the evening, and whatever happens, happens. And I'm gonna keep you posted on that.